Hi, and welcome to Empower Her Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle, and welcome to another episode. So, today we're talking about something I love talking about, nurturing your authentic self, authenticity. We're going to explore this journey of embracing and nurturing your true self, and I'm so excited for you to join me on this new episode on this podcast. I feel like it's going to be a very powerful message for everybody, and I hope you get inspired and you share this with other people. Now, if you guys want to stay in tune to more episodes, please make sure to subscribe. Download the episodes. They are now available on every single streaming podcast. What I want to get into in this podcast, nurturing your authentic self. So, we're going to embark on the transformative journey as we delve into the theme of nurturing your authenticity. And we're going to really try to understand, like, what does it mean to be authentic? What is the definition of being authentic? Authenticity is about embracing your true self, freeing yourself from societal expectations or pressures. We'll discuss why authenticity is crucial for personal growth and empowerment. You'll never become better if you don't stay true to who you are and like your values and everything that you as a person believe that you are. If you speak and you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm this type of person, but you don't truly stand on it, you're never gonna get to the point where you want to be, realistically. So we face a lot of societal problems, or we try to beat to the societal norms. So that's why we feel like trying to shy away from being like our authentic self. And that I feel like is a huge problem that we're so we're so like used to being like part of society and their norms that we forget who we really are. So, I want to navigate you guys how to try to get away from societal norms and like expectations that they have for you, and just you need to truly express yourself. That's expression is like one of the most beautiful things that you can ever do for yourself. Nowadays, I see too many people falling and being influenced by others instead of following their own path. Embracing your uniqueness instead of imitating others is so important. I'm I'm a positive. I can't pronounce this word. I'm horrible. Well, I just want to say that I'm truly authentically myself and I'm unapologetic about it. And that's why my circle of friends is maybe about like one or two people, and like the rest are like acquaintances. Like, I don't really call them friends. So, I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Are we really supposed to do something just because someone else is doing it? Ask yourself, are you really who you say you are? This might trigger some, but this is a really deep question you genuinely have to ask yourself. So I want you guys to take down a piece of paper, a notebook, your notes, your journal, inside your phone, wherever you can write it down. And I want you guys to think about it, really think about it, and answer this question. How can one discover their authentic self? I'm going to share some tips on how to be your authentic self. And I hope you guys really enjoy these tips. I think they're amazing and it's going to really help you grow as a person and just embark in that self discovery of this is a person I am. This is a person I'm going to show the world. I'm not afraid of showing that to the world. And if they don't like it, that's okay because this is who I am and I'm not going to water myself down for somebody else. I'm not going to water myself down for society. The first step is to embrace your uniqueness. We are all different. And that is beautiful about the world. That is beautiful about everything. We're all unique. We're all our individual person, and we do not need to hide that. Celebrate your like quirky things, like your awkwardness, your individual self, and those things make you who you are, and that's beautiful. Second, define your values. What are your values in life? You want to clearly understand your core values and let them guide your decisions. Um, One of my values is just doing everything with love. Everything I do is with love and kindness, um, and empathy. I I've always been like that, and I will never change. No one will ever make me feel so cold and like, rough. I feel like a lot of people in the world are like so cold nowadays, but like one of my values is just love and kindness, and it's just something I love. You know what I mean? The third thing is you need to set healthy boundaries. Okay? You need to establish boundaries that respect your well being and allow you to express your true self. You need to set boundaries when you meet people, when you have friendships, when you have relationships in marriage. If you have children, you need to set boundaries. People need to know, like, hey, these are my boundaries, these are my rules, don't push them. I already told you what they are, and if you don't respect them, you're not worthy of my time. And I love boundaries. It's very important to communicate them in a healthy way. Um, but we'll get more into that later on. The fourth thing is express your creativity. Everybody is an artist, and like we need to express express our creativity. Find creative outlets to express your thoughts, emotions, and unique perspectives, whether that's listening to music, whether that's through art, whether that's through poetry, through writing. Find something that truly expresses who you are, um, and do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Practice it. Practice it every day. Practice your art, whether it's singing, whether you like singing, it's just something that you really, truly love. And like, once you do more things that you love, like, you're gonna see your authentic self come out. Fifth thing, you're going to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very, 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 very useful tool. It's something that they use in therapy and cognitive therapy. And I took it when I was younger, and I was in cognitive therapy, and it really helped me develop even as a young kid to now as an adult. You have to engage in mindfulness activities to stay connected with your authentic self. Often I feel like we do too much mindless scrolling, consuming all this content, but not giving our time to ourselves. So I want you to let go of that phone, listen to this podcast, start doing things for yourself. I want you to maybe get a notebook, use your phone, and start writing things down that you want to do for your this year in 2024 and how to become your authentic self. Okay. I hope you guys are liking these because I think they're so good. Okay. The sixth thing is learn from mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're humans. We have a lot of flaws, and that's okay because we don't have a blueprint set out for our life, right? We're born and we're learning. Each day is a learning experience, and we make mistakes, and that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. Um, the important thing though is to embrace the mistakes that you made and then see them as opportunities to grow and learn, because you're never going to get better if you don't learn from the mistakes that you have made. And that's super important. 7, surround yourself with positivity. I want you guys to really take a look at the friendships that you have, the relationships that you have. Are they really good for you? Are they positive for you? And I know you guys are going to be like, but I spent so much time, I invested so much time in these people. Should I really cut them off? Yes. I'm sorry, but if they're not good for you, you're not going to get better. You're not going to be your authentic self. I want you guys to build relationships with those who appreciate and support your authenticity. Authenticity. So, if you have to pretend to be somebody else when you're around somebody, they're not your friend. If you can't be like your true quirky self, like weird, and you have to like kind of water yourself down, they're not your friend. So cut them off and get a new one. Or before you get a new friend, just you have to really understand like this is my authentic self, and if somebody doesn't like it, then that's okay. They can leave. They can walk out. And that's okay. Doesn't matter how much time you invested in them. If they're not good for you, if they're not positive, they don't deserve your time. Eighth, adapt and evolve. Be open to personal growth and change while staying true to your values. Often, I feel like we're very caught up in life, and like some things just happen, and like we just get this really, really negative mindset. But we have to learn that change happens, and it's okay because we're not in control. A higher power is in control. We're just going with the flow, embracing change, and just understanding it while we stay true to our values and what is really important to us. So don't forget your values and don't forget what is important to you. 9, self compassion. Self compassion is something that took me years to understand. And once I learned, I'm kind of getting tears just talking about it. Once I learned about self compassion and what it means to really love yourself and treat yourself with kindness because you deserve the kindness, it just changes everything. Self love is like so important. Just giving yourself that time and understand that like you need to be nice to yourself. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. Our bodies are not machines. They deserve love too. That's a really important thing that you want to think about. I'm getting tears just thinking about it because oh gosh, that was a hard thing to learn. Self-love. 10. Live your truth. Okay? I love living my truth. Be true to yourself at all aspects of your life and let your authenticity shine. Like I said, don't water yourself down for anybody. Do not water yourself down. Stay true to who you are. And if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, let them know and let them know your boundaries. Because no, in 2024, you are going to be your authentic self. And if somebody doesn't like it, like I said, they're not worth your time, honey. Okay? I hope you guys like those tips. I have more tips. And I want to talk about a little bit more topics about how to, embrace your authentic self. So, part of the journey of being your authentic self involves in embracing imperfections. Like I said, we're not perfect, we're flawed, but that's okay. We're going to be discussing the beauty and vulnerability and how to accept flaws, and how once we learn how to accept our own flaws, it leads to a genuine connection within ourselves, with others, and for self improvement and self empowerment. It's so important once you make a mistake that you use it as a learning opportunity. That's number one. Mistakes are very valuable lessons that offer insight into areas of personal growth. So, I can share a little story. In the beginning of my marriage, I am an awful communicator. I will admit that. But I read a lot of books. I did talking and therapy, and I was a horrible communicator. And I just wanted my husband to like kind of think about what was in my head, but that was not going to work out for me. My relationship was not going to get better unless I communicated with my husband that like this and this and this, you know what I mean? So we have to learn that like not everything we do is correct and we make mistakes. And we just use that mistake to get better in all aspects of life, like I said. And communication is honestly one of the most important things in a relationship, which we'll talk about another time. The second thing, human experience. Making mistakes is part of the human experience. Embracing mistakes and acknowledging your humanity, because, like I said, everybody makes them on the path to self improvement. A successful person is never going to tell you that they succeeded in every single thing in their life. They are going to fail. If you haven't failed once or twice, you're not going to be successful because history will repeat itself. Okay? Why am I saying okay like that? Discovery of limits. Mistakes reveal your limit, helping you understand where you need to focus your efforts. So, once you know, okay, this is where I made that mistake and I want to understand my focus at that time. Where was my mind? Was I really focused enough to know that I shouldn't have made that mistake? Or was I distracted in something else that wasn't worth it or worth my time? You really need to focus on, think about the mistakes that you've made to try to avoid them to help you become more successful by owning up to them also. Making mistakes also makes you for a resilient person. You need to have some resilience building. Overcoming mistakes, although it can be kind of embarrassing, I know some people don't like to admit they make mistakes because it makes them feel embarrassed. Um, it's really, 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 really important to know that, hey, I made this mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. But at the end of the day, it's going to make me stronger because I owned up to that mistake. I made the mistake. I knew I made the mistake. I owned up to it. And I'm going to try to not have I'm going to try not to do it again. Yeah. That's important. And a lot of people don't like owning up to their mistakes. I don't understand why. That's part of your being your authentic self, knowing that, hey, I'm owning up to this. I did this and that's my problem. And let's try not to make sure it doesn't happen again, basically. So, number 5 is going to be refinement of goals. So, when you make mistakes, I want you guys to think about the areas where you can refine and adjust your goals and better align them with your values. You understand? So, see where your values align with your goals and how you can avoid those mistakes. Number 6, the path to mastery. Mastery, and often, like, I feel like often, like, we want to be like perfectionists. I know I'm a perfectionist in everything I do, but we have to understand, like I said, you won't ever get better. You won't ever master something if you don't have trial and error. Mistakes are like the stepping stones towards becoming proficient in a new skill in anything you do. And that is so important. You need to make a mistake. You'll never get better if you don't make a mistake. And personal accountability, like I said, acknowledging the mistakes is a sign of personal accountability. Accountability is super important to be your authentic self. 8, like we said about self-love and self-kindness, self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness after mistakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Listen to this. You're okay. It's okay. You made a mistake and it's fine. It's totally fine. It's okay. We're all humans and we make mistakes. I want you guys to listen to this when you guys are just going through it, okay? I'm gonna relax. 9, mistakes allow for course correction, helping you stay on a path that truly aligns with your aspirations. You're gonna really learn from your mistakes, and I want you to really think about all the mistakes you've made that are for your goals. Embracing mistakes is a hallmark of a growth mindset. It's like where you know there's a challenge, but you view it as an opportunity for development. Every time you make a mistake, it is a learn and growing experience. And like your self improvement journey is more fulfilling and more transformative because, I worked so hard to get here and now I'm here and there's nothing stopping me. Part of being your authentic self is also building relationships. Authenticity extends to our relationships, and we'll explore how to be true to ourselves, fostering meaningful connections and how it contributes to a supportive community. So, here's some little tips and tricks I've learned at my 25 years old. So, number one, know yourself. Deep awareness is the foundation of authenticity, understanding your values, desires, and boundaries. So, there are different types of relationships. Not every relationship is going to be romantic. There's friendships, there's acquaintances, there's, work relationships that you have, as a manager or whatever your position is. But you have to understand boundaries and values and understand culture also. Culture doesn't mean like, oh, what is your culture? Like, I'm Dominican. No, there's culture. There's like work life balance and stuff like that as a manager that you have to understand for your workers as well. Um, Communicate openly. Oh, I love this. So, you want to foster honest and open communication. Share your thoughts, feelings, and aspirations with transparency. So, I love this. Be open with your partner. If you feel like your partner's going to judge you, open up. You never know. And if they do judge you and they don't end up understanding you, I feel like they don't really, they need to do some inner work if they can't understand you because we're not always going to understand eye to eye. We're not always going to like understand them right away. But eventually, if they truly have done some inner work, they're going to truly understand you and love you because that's why we're here. It's to support one another, to help each other grow. I love that. Three, set boundaries. So, very important, like I said before, establish clear boundaries that align with your values and communicate these boundaries before you start the relationship with that person. And if that person doesn't respectively and assertively like understand like your boundaries and they just keep on crossing over it, cut them off. Cut them off. Because boundaries are important, and if you don't respect my boundaries, then we have a problem. I'm gonna cut you off. And I stand on business for. I don't think anybody can take me seriously, but I am serious about that. Express your needs. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and communicate your needs within a relationship, whether that's a friendship, a marriage, a work relationship. You need to be authentic when you have these connections so that both parties, so let's say you and your husband or you and your wife, you guys have to both be able to express your needs and what you want out of this. You know what I mean? So when we are authentic and we tell our partner, like, hey, I need this, but I need you to also do this for me, both parties are going to be satisfied because we're both expressing our desires and what we need in order to be successful or have pleasure or whatever your goal is. So always think about that. Next topic is be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Share your fears, dreams, and challenges. If you truly trust somebody and know that I can trust this person, like I can trust them with my whole life, share everything. Don't be afraid. Vulnerability strengthens an authentic connection. So when people tell me their insecurities or something, I love that because I know that that person trusts me and I can trust them. And I love that. I love genuine connections. I love deep conversations. And that's the type of friends I'm looking for. So if you want to have deep conversations one day and you know me personally, DM me. My DMs are open. I might be busy because, your girl's in school doing a podcast, starting her own business, but I'm always open to talk or a phone call. Next topic is listen actively. Don't be that person in that conversation that is just talking. I want you guys to, next time you have a deep conversation with a person, I want you guys to just observe and listen. The most you can do for somebody else when they're trying to tell you something that they think is important is to like not listen to them and just over talk over them. In an authentic relationship, you're going to sit down and actively listen. You want to understand the perspective of others and respond generally. Okay? That's something that I had to learn how to do. Because I felt like I was always a person to attack and attack. And I'm like, no, girl, like, sit down, calm yourself, love, kindness. Because we're not all going to think the same. We all have our own idea. We have our own individual mindset, our own opinions, and that's okay. I feel like now the world's like, if you don't agree with somebody, like, they get mad at you. Like, hello, 2024. Revise yourself. Okay. 7, stay true to your values. Do not forget your values, ladies, especially my ladies. Don't forget your values and stay true to your values. Ensure that your actions and decisions align with your core values as a person, as a woman, as a man, as whatever gender you identify as, whatever your pronouns are. I see you. Authenticity is like literally about being consistent about who you are. So if I'm talking to somebody and they're not being consistent, like I know that you're not being your authentic self. Like you're being shady. Like, you know what I mean? And like I don't like that. I need consistency. I need to know that like if I'm being consistent to you because this is who I am, like you're gonna be consistent too. You know what I mean? 8, accept imperfections. Know that you're not perfect. He's not perfect. She's not perfect. That person's not perfect. We're all not perfect. And it's okay to embrace your imperfections. You have to embrace your imperfections and the imperfections of other people. Nowadays, I'm going to tell you, I'm attracted to dad bods. They're cute. I don't care about six packs. Like, I don't, that was totally off topic, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, like a fit person. Like, I don't care for like a guy with a six pack or like if my husband has a six pack. Like, I like a dad bod. So, you want to accept other people for how they come as and, just them in general. The authentic connections that you have, recognize and appreciate the beauty and the flaws. That's what it's all about, baby. It's like literally, it's so simple, but we overcomplicate everything as humans in the society nowadays. That's why I want to come out and have this message for you guys because I feel like it's so beautiful and I love it. Encourage individual growth. Support the personal growth of other people and encourage them to pursue their self improvement journey. If I truly love you, it doesn't even have to be in a romantic way, but if I truly care about you and love you, like I'm gonna push you. Like I'm gonna push you to become the best version of yourself because I want to see you win. If you did something or like you graduated or like you're starting a business, something like best believe like I'm gonna be that friend to support you because that's just who I am. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody have a blessed time, a blessed year because that's who I am. And I expect the same for myself. And like I said, like your energy is very sacred. Like it is a privilege to be in my energy. Again, ladies and men and whoever, whatever gender you identify as, it is a privilege to be in my energy. 10. Choose quality over quantity. I rather have one or two friends than about 10 or 20 friends. I rather prioritize meaningful connections over a large network. That's why I always talk about like the hookup culture nowadays. Like nowadays everybody just wants to have sex with everybody. But like no. Why? Just have like that one person, or if you're even like non-monogamous, like, what I'm saying? But don't give your energy, because like once you allow somebody inside of you, like you can create a soul tie, but that's the conversation for something else. I'm just saying, like, choose quality over quantity. Like, choose that one genuine connection and keep that connection, because you know that that connection was authentic and it was lovely and it was comforting, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like nowadays, like, people like call everybody their friends. Like, no, not everybody's your friend. Now I understand why my mom said that not everybody's my friend. It makes a lot of sense now. It makes a lot of sense. Thank you, mommy. So, remember, staying authentic in relationships is so important. Don't lose who you are in a relationship just because you get marriage. Just because you got married and you have kids and you have a family. Don't lose who you are, please. Don't lose who you are. Don't forget about who you are as a person. And that will really help you create a strong relationship, because when you're married or you're in a relationship, you can't lose who you are. You have to stay authentic to yourself. And like, this is only going to help you build a more authentic relationship with the person that you're in, and allow you to have empowering connections with other people, which is something I feel like we lack in 2024. So I hope this really helped you guys. If you guys want to see more of this podcast, let me know. It will be streaming on all platforms. Like I said, we're on majority of the platforms. Just Google us. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on your notifications so that you guys can get notified when I upload. I'm going to be trying to upload at least once a week. But I hope you guys like this. As we conclude, remember that nurturing your authentic self is an ongoing process. You guys are not going to change within an overnight process. It's all about honoring who you truly are and allowing that authenticity. I can't pronounce that word. Allowing that authenticity to shine. So, join me next time. This is your host, Gabrielle, on Empower Her Secrets podcast. Join me next time for a powerful, deep, meaningful conversation. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I love you.